I'm Emily Kitterman, and this week I want to discuss the different funding options available to entrepreneurs. This video is important because every new entrepreneur needs to understand the various funding options available to them, along with the pros and cons of each. There are many different types of options available to small businesses today. Determining what funding options are best for you, as well as when you should use each type, depends on your business and your growth goals, making sure you use the right type of funding at the right time. This can drastically impact your success. The first source is grants from governments, universities, or other nonprofit organizations. These can be an excellent source of funding because you get the money you need and you don't have to pay any of it back, and you don't have to give up any ownership in your company. The con here is going after grants can suck up a huge amount of your time and money. They can be very difficult to win, and they often severely limit how you and what you can spend the money on. So often they simply don't provide the necessary flexibility, and you should be very certain of the ins and outs associated with a particular grant before pursuing or accepting it. Another option is getting assistance from friends and family. These are the people most likely to help believe in you and your business. Most of the time, they are willing to give you favorable terms on an equity investment or on a loan. However, it can be very detrimental to mix business with the people closest to you. Would it be worth jeopardizing a relationship that's really important to you? Make sure it is what you want to do, and I caution you to take those relationships seriously. The more traditional route entrepreneurs can also use is the loans to fund their business. The huge plus here is a loan leaves you with all the control and all of the equity in your company without giving up either to an investor. Just remember, having that control is amazing, but you must pay it back with interest. Another downfall is you have to sometimes personal guarantee. If your company is a success, no big deal. But if you're in a position and can't make payments, everything can go sideways. So the question here is, do you have enough faith in your business to sign? If this is worrisome, you can also turn to an alternative lender instead of a bank for your loan, and you might be able to get some favorable terms there. However, don't think that just because a loan doesn't come from a traditional bank that you're somehow less on the hook for the debt. I will, however, say it is easier to get an alternative loan as described compared to a bank loan. You may also get better rates. Then you have crowdfunding. Crowdfunding has been getting a lot of press lately as the SEC started clearly defining ridiculous rules to allow for equity investments on crowdfunding sites. But whether you're using the original reward system or the new equity system, the concept is basically the same. You set up a profile to pitch your project to everyone looking on the internet, and then you have the potential to raise a little bit of money from a lot of people to add up to your funding goal. If you go this route, make sure you realize this typically requires you to run a successful crowdfunding campaign. Just make sure you do your research first. Finally, the supposedly trendiest funding option is raising money from angel investors or venture capitalists. Here you'll give up a large portion of your company to these investors in exchange for their cash. And if they are any good, you may also get their advice. This is where you can get big money for massive growth. But this type of investment isn't for everyone, and it certainly isn't for the faint of heart. First, you may give up control to these guys, and then they will be checking in on what you're doing. Additionally, their investment is based on the expectation of a fairly rapid payout. So be prepared to sell, or if you really rock it to go public, this is not the way to go for somebody who wants to pass the business down to their family. Also, be careful of the terms of the agreement. These investors are professionals and they're looking out for themselves. Make sure that you have an experienced lawyer to explain all of the ins and outs of the term sheet to you before you sign anything and take the cash. With that said, however, this could be the way to go if you truly believe you can be the next Google with the right amount of cash up front. Venture capitalists are career investors working for the investment funds and are handling other people's money for their investments. Angels are individuals putting up their own cash. They review tons of proposals, so make sure you make a good first impression when you approach them. And know your business plans and your financial projections before they start asking questions. If you're unsure of how to pitch, take a look at other pitch books and get advice from experts. All of the options out there from outside investments in your company, and it's important that you take some time to decide what your goals are, where your business stands. Before you pursue something that might not be the best fit, consider all the positives and negatives of each before committing to a deal. If you're still totally clueless, ask for the advice of a mentor or other expert. Given all the options out there for outside investment in your company, it's important that you take some time to decide what your goals are and where your business stands before you pursue something that may not be the optimal option for your business. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch my video. Make sure you visit me on social media and visit my website, www.me21inc.com. Have a wonderful day, my friend.